Imagine yourself in a prison which was originally designed for 400 inmates, but you are one of the over 7,000 sardined in there. For how long do you think you can survive? Before you rush to answer, this is just a tip of the iceberg according to reports of this hell of a prison named Gitarama Prison. Located in Muhanga, it is nicknamed the world's worst prison. But how bad is it, and what is the truth? Before we continue with the cringing details and the truth about this place where it is believed that the unthinkable happens, first of all, we will give you all that is reported about this place before telling you the real story. The first report you will get about this place is that Gitarama is a high-security prison where you will find robbers, murderers, rapists, and other violent criminals. Many people who find themselves in this facility are those sentenced to life behind bars, although there are still others yet to even stand before a judge. The facility has a history that goes back to 1960 when it was built to house British workers. This means that in the initial stages, the jailhouse was not designed to be a prison. After the British left and there was a need for a jail, Gitarama, which is located in the outskirts of Kigali, Rwanda's capital, was converted to a jailhouse. Even at this point, the intention was for the jail to only accommodate 400 to 600 people. Today, it is claimed to have more than 7,000 convicts and individuals either already sentenced or awaiting trial for various offenses. Those locked up behind the fences include men, women, and even children. Now the story is about to get very sad. In the mid-1990s, the Rwandan government, which was controlled by the Hutu tribe, led a genocide which targeted the Tutsi population of the country. By the time the war came to an end in July 1994, records claimed that between 500,000 to 800,000 Tutsis were killed. There were still other reports that claimed that as much as over 1 million lives vanished with the war. Of course, just as the casualties of the tragic event were many, so also were those who took part in the shocking act. Many of those who took part in the crime were sent to Gitarama. Remember that this place was a place meant for only 400 or at most 600 people. But after the Rwandan genocide, more than 50,000 people were locked in this place. What this means is that 125 people were forced to share a space that was originally meant for just a person. Today, the report is that the number might have dropped so much, but the prison has not gotten any better. You will be told that those unfortunate enough to find themselves in this place stand for most of the day because there is no space to sit, and lying down is out of the equation. It is sensationally reported that prisoners stand on wet bare floor all through the day and all through the night. It gets so bad that the feet of many get to rot away. When this happens, amputation remains the only option. What is even more sad, according to reports, is that getting the amputation carried out on time is a luxury that may not come for many. This is because the facility only has a doctor and 8 other health workers to help. The small clinic in the facility is designed to cater for less than 30 inmates at a time, and it is ill-equipped for anything more than mild illness. Sadly, there is no mild illness here. If an inmate is unlucky enough to require emergency attention, which is the case with so many, such an inmate may end up losing his life because there is no such thing as emergency attention in the facility. That is what has been reported. Now, the fear of international health bodies, as claimed, is that should the facility witness any serious epidemic, no one can tell the exact number of lives that would be lost, but you can be sure that the number would be up there. Another claim is that each day, as many as 6 people lose their lives in this facility. While there is no record for the death per year, it has been claimed that in 1995 alone, more than 1,000 inmates lost their lives in the prison. If you are not strong enough to stand for hours that won't end, Then you may find a way of being strong enough to fight for a place to sleep in one of the only 20 latrines of the facility, where you will find people defecating and others getting some rest. When the number of prisoners goes down and there is enough space, inmates get to sleep on the floor in turns. And now to how the inmates are being fed. Inmates in the Gitarama Prison are said to get fed only once a day. If you're unlucky to get the paltry beans and maize that is served for a day, you will have to find a way of surviving to the next day or until the day you get food. In a place as this, you will find all the recipes for tempers to flare unnecessarily or otherwise. Whenever this happens and an inmate gets killed, others feed on his remains to stay alive. Another claim is that there were cases when inmates would bite off flesh from other inmates because of hunger. So now you're wondering why no one seems to care about the prison and its inhabitants. The reports claim it is because the government believes many of those languishing in the facility are among the perpetrators of the genocide. And then again, the government believes that some of those locked up there may actually be innocent, but they believe that such people may be handful, while the greater percentage are presumed guilty. If you find your way into this place, your family may never get to know. You may never get to have any legal representation or stand before the court, and you may never get to walk out alive. And even if you do, you may not walk out on your feet. That is for those unfortunate enough to have it amputated. With all this, you may wonder what stops one from escaping. According to many publications, it is not as easy as you may think. There is no recorded history of anyone ever escaping the facility. It is possible that someone might have escaped or tried to escape from the high-security prison, but it has never been reported by the media. The only thing on record is that there was a time in the 1990s when a number of inmates made an attempt to escape the facility. 4 lost their lives in the process, and 3 were injured. Now, what is the truth about the situation in this prison, claimed to be one of the worst places on earth? Above everything that is said, so much is false. First of all, there is no longer a prison known as Gitarama. The prison with that name existed from 1960 until 2006, when it was renamed Muhanga. This tells you that most of those writing about the facility as Gitarama do not know much about it. It is true that following the Rwandan genocide, the facility was overcrowded with many prisoners who were implicated in the war. However, by the early 2000s, the place was already decongested. It is also true that before 2021, the prison was the most congested in Rwanda, but the Rwanda Correctional Service has since relocated many to other facilities. Findings reveal that as it stands, inmates are fed twice a day. In the morning, they take corn pap, while they take beans later in the day. The inmates have rights to medical health care, food, sports facilities, and are allowed to receive visitors, including family members, friends, and legal representatives. Inmates can learn vocational and technical skill in the facility, and through this, they make items like shoes, baskets, wallets, and more, which they sell to visitors. One more thing, there is a baby class in the facility for children that are born by inmates who come in pregnant. The kids are taken care of until they are old enough to live away from their mothers, and then they are reunited to family members. What do you think or know about this facility? Let us know in the comments section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share.